What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I am back again with a highly requested half up half down quick weave video. But first I just want to show you guys how I dye my extensions. Now this brand is not a brand that I typically use to dye my extensions black, but I didn't have enough of what I typically use, so I had to pick up something else, and this is what I grabbed. Now, I mean, it's fairly simple. You just add the color with the developer. They both come in the box, mix them together. This consistency is a little bit thicker than I typically like my consistencies to be, just because when it's a thicker consistency, you have to use more dye. So you'll see in a bit, I added a little bit more developer to the cream just to kind of, make it a little bit more watery, I guess you could say. But I feel like dyeing your extensions, especially black, is pretty self-explanatory. You just need your color. I like to dye it over aluminum foil, and then as I'm adding the color to the hair, I like to brush or comb through the extensions just to make sure I am evenly distributing that color all throughout the hair. You don't want your hair to turn out patchy because you missed some spots, so you have some brown spots, some black spots, no sis. Make sure you comb through your hair, brush through your hair to make sure you are getting the color all throughout the extension. Now, another thing I want to mention is I like to wet my extensions before I dye them because I feel like when they're wet, you don't have to use as much color as you do when the hair is dry. That is just my personal preference. You can always do it however you want to, but I typically only need about 3 boxes of color, 1 box per bundle when I do it this way. And for those of you that don't know, I do have my own hair extensions line. It's called 1222 Hair Extensions. And yes, this hair is from my line. However, this is a new texture. So we currently don't have this texture on the site. But if you guys like the way this came out, let me know. And I guess if I get enough responses saying, yes, we need this texture, I'll add it to the site. But I just want to test it out first and see if I like the curl pattern, etc. But let me know what you guys think about it. One more thing I want to mention while we're at the beginning of this video and I have y'all's attention, please make sure you're checking the description box for product info, hair info, etc., etc. Like, I still get so many questions about what products I'm using, what hair I'm using. And I promise all that stuff is always in the description below, guys. So please, 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 please make sure you are checking the description below the video for any answers to any questions you may have. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm going to answer your questions in the description box below the video. At least that is what I'm trying to do with my videos nowadays, especially questions that I can kind of predict you guys are going to answer. I really do my best to put the answers in the description box for you guys, so please make sure you check that out. I just wanted to mention really quickly that I usually let my color sit on my extensions for about 45 minutes just to make sure the color has fully saturated the bundles. Alright, so let's start this process. So my hair has been washed and blow dried at this point. So now I'm going in and making my part for the back and the top, the ponytail. A lot of you guys are like, how in the heck can you part your hair? Like, how can you see in the back? I have this mirror propped up so that I can see what I'm doing behind me. So that's how I'm able to part really well. And then for the part that's going to be down in the back, I'm just going to braid. I'm going to do cornrows straight to the back. If you guys have watched my old quick weave videos, it's pretty much the same method. Just corn rolling you literally straight to the back and then tying the ends of the braids with rubber bands. And I think I did about 5 braids. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be neat because obviously no one is going to be able to see them. So however you do them is perfectly fine. You just need some sort of base before you put your cap on and before you apply the tracks. Alright, so never mind me over there in the corner with my cap on. I did this backwards on accident and just wasn't thinking how to take the cap back off. But first things first, you want to apply the Bond Protectant to your natural hair. This protects your natural hair from the glue, and the Bond Protectant basically acts as a barrier between your natural hair and the glue. Alright, so after you do that, you want to make sure it's completely dry before moving on, and then you apply your cap, and then you go back again and apply the Bond Protectant on top of the cap. Why do I do it on my natural hair in the cap? Because I want extra protection. I don't want any kind of glue to seep through the caps and get on my natural hair. So the more protection, the better for me. Again, this has to be completely dry before you can move on, or else your tracks will not stick. Trust me on that. Alright, so now it's time to apply your tracks. So here I'm just measuring from end to end the length of the track. And the key to this style is when you're applying your tracks in the back, you want to apply them at an angle. That will help to, because this is a no leave out quick weave, that'll help to hide the tracks in the back. So basically the hair will fall over the tracks and you won't be able to see the tracks. Y'all will kind of see what I mean as I'm doing this, but make sure the ends of each side of the track is going up at an angle. Okay, so let's talk about this part real quick. This was actually a little bit tricky to do, so I had to go ahead and cut my caps because I couldn't really see where the ends of my tracks needed to stop. Like I couldn't see where my part was. So I went ahead and cut the tracks, and a lot of you guys always ask how the cap stays on. If you can see in that previous clip, it's basically stuck to my head. So when you apply the bond protectant and it dries, it kind of acts as, it's not a glue, but it helps the cap to stick to your head, if that makes sense. For everybody that always asks, this is what I do with all of my quick weaves. So I don't leave my braids hanging. I always tuck them after I'm done laying the track. Alright sis, so we got some things to talk about from this point forward. So first things first, make sure you go ahead and lay your baby hairs if you want any. Because once you add the gel to your hair, it's going to be pretty impossible to separate your baby hairs from your ponytail. So make sure you do that first before you start to form and mold your ponytail. Okay, so second thing, I use the Got2be Styling Gel and the freeze spray. Now, the gel was not that bad, okay? But let me just remind y'all, this is my first time ever doing this kind of style, ever needing this kind of gel, freeze spray, anything like that. So I know, okay? Learn my lesson. But the gel wasn't that bad, but the freeze spray, I probably could have done without. Like, it literally made my hair so hard. And some people may like that, like especially if you want this style to last for a very long time, or you know, a week or two. But I didn't like how hard it made my hair because I wanted this style to look a little bit more natural, and I just feel like how hard it made it look wasn't really that natural. And it's actually funny because as I was watching this video back, it didn't really look that bad on video. So I don't know if it was just me or what, but if I ever do this style again, I'll probably just use the gel and skip out on the freeze spray. brush. So I literally just noticed that apparently my camera got out of focus and I didn't notice it, so it's a little blurry from this point, but it still gets the job done. So all right, next step. So this is kind of like topic number 3 that we need to talk about. Again, guys, remember this is my first time doing this style, so I know. But when I braided my hair down, I should have folded this braid, not necessarily in half, but maybe took like a quarter of it and folded it up, because y'all are gonna see in a minute, like after I wrap whatever this stuff's called around my hair, I'm going to glue the tracks from the bottom of the braid all the way up. And the braid was just way too long. Like, it just took me too long to do it. It was a little bit heavy once I was done. Like, the braid just shouldn't have been that long. So that's definitely noted for the next time that I do this style. And in case, you know, your hair may be the same length as mine or longer, fold your braid up a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll help a lot. I also want to add, y'all can see right here that I'm adding glue to the strip to kind of secure the end of it. That glue will not seep through and get on your hair. FYI, in case anybody is nervous about that, it will not be on your hair. I promise. Okay, so now on to the fun part. So I wouldn't say that this part was hard. I just kind of had to get a good rotation going, I guess, or good routine going. It definitely requires a little bit of patience, and I think it would have been a lot easier had my braid not been so long. So all I'm doing is literally taking this is a full bundle, and just wrapping it around my little braid base here and just going up as I wrap it around. And each time I come back around, I add a little bit of glue to the tracks just to secure the tracks to the strip. But again, that glue will literally not seep through and get on your real hair. So you don't have to be worried about that. But yeah, that's really all there is to this part. Like, you're just wrapping it around this little braid that you've created, and kind of each time that you go around, just add a little bit of glue to help secure your ponytail basically. Now, when I got to this part right here where you can kind of see my real hair coming out from the strip, I didn't glue the tracks to my real hair, obviously. I just kept wrapping it around, because at this point the ponytail is pretty secure, so there's really no need to add any glue on that specific part. What I did glue, however, was the end of this ponytail right here, and just kind of wrapped it around. So I mean, the ponytail holder is right there, so it's not like you're gluing it to your natural hair. You're just kind of securing it to the ponytail holder, I guess, and to itself basically. And I used my blow dryer just to make sure it was dry and secure. And voila, we're almost done. I honestly have to say, guys, for whatever reason, I felt like I needed to add more hair to my ponytail. I really didn't, because it was pretty full, but I felt like that at the time. So I added a little bit more hair. That's why it looks a little bit fuller right here. And then I just took a small piece of the hair from the back and then started wrapping it around to conceal that ponytail holder. And that's pretty much it. And to secure this wrap part right here, like, all I did was take the Got2be gel, actually, and kind of wrapped it around this, what do you call this wrap part, and then added freeze spray just to kind of secure it and hold it into place. I did add a small little bobby pin just to make sure it wasn't gonna slip, but the gel and the spray should pretty much do the trick, and then you're done. That's it. It wasn't too bad of a process. I think it was just something new for me, so I just had to wing it and figure it out along the way, but we're done. I used 2.5 packs of hair all in all. I probably could have gotten away with a lot less, or not a lot less, but a little bit less. But it took me about 2 hours to do this style total, which honestly isn't bad to me, considering this is the first time I've ever done this. And then usually my normal quick weaves take about 4 hours from start to finish, so 2 hours wasn't bad for me. And it's a cute and fun style, so I had fun while I was doing it, obviously. But yeah, again, like I said, this is hair from my line. I inserted a picture here of how it looks when it's wet. And again, we currently do not have this texture on our site, but if you guys like this texture, let me know in the comments below and we will add it for you. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this style. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.